The title of Star Wars, Episode I The Phantom Menace has a double meaning. George Lucas returned to Star Wars in 1999, finally revealing the history of the galaxy he had created and the true story of the Clone Wars. The title of the first film, Star Wars, Episode I The Phantom Menace, immediately led to intense speculation in the fanbase around who exactly the titular menace could be. The Star Wars expanded universe had flourished since 1991, with the release of the comic book miniseries Dark Empire and the New York Times best-selling Thrawn trilogy of novels. At Lucas' insistence, these stories had explored the post-return of the Jedi galaxy. He felt he was unlikely to ever make a sequel trilogy, but he continually toyed with the idea of the prequels. Modern viewers tend to forget just how little audiences knew about the galaxy's past back in 1999, and even how little they knew about the Sith. Most had assumed the Sith were a race of Force sensitives commanded by Darth Vader, who, after all, was dubbed Lord of the Sith. Curiously enough, there's a sense in which the concept of a Phantom Menace defines Star Wars. So many of the Sith's plans operate in the shadows, from Palpatine's machinations in the prequels to the Death Star trap and return of the Jedi, from Supreme Leader Snoke's holographic presence in Star Wars, The Force Awakens to the emergence of the resurrected Palpatine in Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. But, in this case, the title was designed by George Lucas to refer to two very specific individuals, Darth Sidious and his apprentice, Darth Maul. Yes, the Phantom Menace is Emperor Palpatine Darth Sidious, as George Lucas explained in an interview with Vanity Fair. The Phantom Menace is a character named Darth Sidious, who Lucas described as the last of the Sith. It's interesting to note that, at the time this interview was conducted, Lucas didn't acknowledge Darth Sidious was in fact Palpatine. This led to speculation Palpatine was a pawn of the Sith, rather than the fulfillment of their millennia of planning. This, of course, was probably why Lucas was so careful with his wording in the first place. He wanted viewers to speculate as to the true identity of the Sith Lord, just as the Jedi would do over the course of the prequel trilogy. The idea of a Phantom Menace perfectly defines the Baniyite Sith. Darth Bane reinvented the Sith, turning them into agents of darkness who operated in the shadows, their very existence unknown to the Jedi. For 1,000 years they had plotted and schemed, working to undermine their ancient enemies, and at last they would have their revenge. As the culmination and climax of Darth Bane's Sith, Palpatine was the ultimate Phantom Menace. Darth Maul is also the Phantom Menace, according to George Lucas. Lucas hinted the title actually had something of a double meaning. As Lucas explained in his interview, the concept of menace should be broadened to include Darth Maul, the brutal Sith apprentice who threatened Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Maul stood front and center in marketing for Star Wars, Episode I The Phantom Menace, with Lucasfilm well aware his terrifying appearance had potential viewers hooked. He appeared in almost all the posters, and even in the film's trailer. "At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi," Darth Maul said, in words filled with dark promise. "At last we will have revenge." It's certainly true that stunt actor Ray Park's portrayal of Darth Maul exuded menace. Park created a whole new fighting style for his double-bladed lightsaber during practice duels to familiarize the actors with the choreography. He and Ewan McGregor struck with such ferocity and enthusiasm that they kept bending their practice swords out of shape. This ultimately led to duels that had a brutal, visceral edge, thrilling audiences as they watched combat far more ferocious than anything seen in the original trilogy. Darth Maul perfectly encapsulates the nature of the Baniyite Sith. When Star Wars Episode I The Phantom Menace ends, he is dead. The Sith who stepped out of the shadows, who became a concrete menace rather than a phantom one, is slain. The implication is that the Sith can only defeat the Jedi when they remain true to Darth Bane's guidance, manipulators and schemers, rather than aggressive forces of rage and wrath. Darth Bane's fall proves the Sith must always remain the shadow working covertly against the light, a true phantom menace. Key release dates: Rogue Squadron release date 2023, 12/22.